Hello lovelies! I am so excited to announce that for the next 9 weeks I'm going to be doing a corner-to-corner crochet along Afghan based on my favorite series, the Kingkiller Chronicle. I love the series so much that I've taken 9 symbols and objects from the series and turned them into squares. So each week I will be sharing the pattern in my blog below for the square and posting a video about how pretty the square turned out. And hoping you guys join me on this 9-week journey as I put together a throw blanket based on, my favorite series. If you're interested, feel free to join along. I will again try to share the pattern on my blog. Also, if you want to check out Amazon, I'm going to do a giveaway for 2 copies of soft cover copies of The Name of the Wind book. Yay! So, if you are coming from Amazon and you don't crochet at all, feel free to keep watching if you want to see how my blanket turns out. If you're a crocheter and you love the Kingkiller Chronicles like I do, feel free to join. It'll be so much fun, guys. So, for my first video, we are starting with my favorite symbol from the entire series. And it's not necessarily from the book series, I guess. It's more from the, the spin-off novella, The Slow Regard of Silent Things, and it's Auri's gear, and I think I might have showed it upside down, but Auri's gear is my favorite symbol from the whole series, as you can tell. I don't know if you see my shirt. I have necklaces, I have the shirt, I love all the things. So today's video is going to be a short tutorial on how to do a corner-to-corner square for the blanket. And basically it's just going to get you started, show you the increase rows, get to the middle, show you some decrease rows, and finish off the square for you. For the next few weeks I will just be showing off squares and attaching the pattern to my blog, as I don't want to do a tutorial every time, because if I would have done a tutorial of a full square it was going to be over 8 hours long. So every week I will be sharing a new square. If you want a sneak peek of next week's square, there it was. Alright guys, I hope you stay tuned and please enjoy my crochet along. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Guys, I love the series so much, I'm like totally nerding out hardcore, so please enjoy the videos, feel free to watch. If you're coming from Amazon and you don't crochet, feel free to stay tuned just to see the end product. Follow me on Facebook with my friend and I's Facebook page that we share all the things that we like to crochet or knit or loom knit and all the fun things that we like to do. Feel free to follow my blog to find out the new patterns every week, and stay tuned on YouTube to see what my finished blanket looks like. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye! My first square in the Kingkiller Chronicle blanket that I really wanted to film would be that of Auri's gear. It's not necessarily from the main series, but it's from the spin-off novella, The Slow Regard of Silent Things. This novella is about Auri, and the symbol of the gear that's in the book really means a lot to me, and as you can see I have the necklace. And so that's kind of where I wanted to begin with my blanket, being that it means so much to me. If you're interested in learning more about the Kingkiller Chronicle, I wouldn't start with the spin-off novella, I'd start with The Name of the Wind. And I don't have my softcover copies, all 3 of them I've got borrowed out right now. But this is the 10th anniversary edition, it's really pretty. So basically The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss is where you want to start if you want to know more about the series that I'm doing my blanket on. Again, my gear is kind of from the spin-off book here, and I could probably add a couple extra squares if you didn't want Auri's gear, but this one's the most important to me and it's where I started off. So I don't own the rights to any of the images that I used, like the gear. Those would all be Patrick Rothfuss's licensing. I'm hoping that he would be okay that I'm using it to make a craft project and that I'm sharing that all with you guys. So here is the gear that I kind of worked up on some grid paper, and I think this will be the gear that you'll be able to print off online. I like it better with the 5x5s, but for the one I'm sharing on my blog, it will be this one. Alright, so if you see weird cuts, like the one you kind of just saw there, it is because I am filming this at home right now during the summer, and both my kiddos are home, and so real life is happening right now. I try to have a quiet space, but you might hear them playing in the background. You might hear the water running because the bathroom's right next door to my room. So yeah, real life is happening right now, so there might be a few cuts and edits, or you might hear my kiddos. So sorry about that. So back to where I was kind of starting. The colors I chose for this, I couldn't find a very good brazen gear color. The color I chose would be the Vanna's Choice Mustard by Lion Brand. And I do find that Vanna's Choice, the Lion Brand yarn, and the Impeccable yarn from Michaels work very well together. They're about the same thickness. And I do like the shinier texture you kind of get to the Vanna's Choice. I feel that it makes the sheen of the gear kind of come out. It's not 100%, so if you find a better color, go for it. These are just what I used, and I also used the Impeccable Loops and Threads brand yarn from Michaels in the color Clear Blue. So those are my colors. So Mustard by Vanna's Choice Lion Brand, Impeccable in Clear Blue. So other things you will need, and this is kind of my little pencil bag from Target, which you don't need that, but I've got all my goodies in here, usually with the worsted weight yarns, or the medium worsted weight yarns. It calls for, and if I can find it, the size H crochet hook, or an I guess it's got both of them on there. I'm going to go up to an I, because I tend to crochet with a tighter gauge. On my pattern I'm going to leave it at size H, because usually when I crochet really tight because I'm used to amigurumi. So I will put size H as the size because that will be the gauge that you'll want to try for, or it doesn't really matter, it's a throw blanket. Use whatever crochet hook size that you would like to use and have it as big or small as you would like, but I'm going to use the I, and my pattern will say the H because when I crochet with I's it tends to be down a half size. I usually have to go to half size larger. Don't worry about all that if you don't want to. That was a big mouthful, but that's just what I'm using. You can use a stitch marker, you can use a row counter if you'd like to keep track of where you are. I'm not going to, it's just part of my bag. You can use the measuring tape, which I will use at the end to measure how large my square is, if you're trying to keep your gauge in check. Scissors for changing colors, a yarn needle to hide our ends, and I'm going to use a pen to basically keep track of the rows that I'm working on. And I'm going to start on row 1 here, and I printed this off so I could doodle on it while I'm working. Sorry guys, you're going to deal with all sorts of editing in the beginning here. Another thing that I am adding to the mix are these well, you can call them bobbins, but they are plastic clothespins that I got from the dollar store. And I like to keep different bobbins running because once you start getting to, I don't know, say about here or even here, you're going to start needing different bobbins of colors. And I can show you that as we're working. So like when you're getting, say, to out here, then you'll need a little bit of blue, and you don't want to cut that yarn. You'll need a little bit of yellow, you'll need a little bit of blue, back to the mustard or yellow, back to your blue, back to your yellow, back to your blue. So you'll want a couple bobbins running. So that's really where I start off. And I like having, and sorry, this is a color book, but you can see it is all beat up because when I worked on another project that had bobbins, I like to clip them on here and pull them off as I'm working. So maybe if I put it on this side it'll be less distracting, but I'm going to be using my little color book to keep all my bobbins a go, or maybe even use the end of my table here. So really to start off with, I'm going to make just a couple extra bobbins. I'm going to make two of each color. You don't have to do this again if you don't want to. I do have extra skeins, just in case I don't have enough bobbins I can borrow from extra skeins of yarn. And actually I'm going to start with this one of blue because it looks like I've already played with some of the yarn barf. I like to clip it right in here to hold my yarn. I don't know if you guys are using the same or different, or if you don't use yarn bobbins at all. It's all up to you. I'm just going to get a couple going for when I'm in these middle areas here. And again, I can use my extra skein when I get to the thicker blue on the other side here. Try to get that in camera. Maybe I can speed this bit up so you don't have to watch all of me getting my bobbin ready here. Okay, so I just found out that my camera automatically stops after a few minutes, so I'll have to listen to when it stops filming and hopefully don't mess any of this up. Anyways, so I finished wrapping my bobbins off camera because I didn't know my camera had stopped working. I can clear this all out and we can begin our work. So I have a bunch of extras of these. I didn't know what style I liked the best, and I'm hoping you can see this. So I'm going to be beginning on this first row, kind of working my way across and going up, and then the next row you'll be coming down like that. So this might not be the greatest tutorial on how to do a corner to corner square for your afghans. There are plenty of great tutorials out there. I'm just going to basically show how to make the gear. So first you're going to make your slip knot. Place it on your hook. If you do need help, I should probably get my ring on. I like to use rings to hold my yarn underneath. I wasn't wearing mine today, I just got out of the shower. Let's get my ring on there. See how it wraps underneath it. I love rings for that reason. Anyways, just got out of the shower so didn't get my ring on. Now I have it on there, and we're going to start with our first square here. So you got your slip knot. You're going to start by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to double crochet in the last 3 stitches of your chain. You're going to skip that first 3. It's going to be your chain 3. Go into your 4th chain here and double crochet. Move on to your next chain, double crochet. Move on to your last chain here and double crochet. That is the beginning square, first square of your corner to corner afghan. Now we're going to come back the other way. Sometimes I do it this way too. Instead of on the edges, I kind of do it in there. So in order to come back the other way, we're going to go ahead and chain our 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to rotate our work. So now we're working this way. Skipping those first 3 chains again, double crocheting in our 4th chain from the hook, and it spinned a little bit, but that's okay. Our next chain, keeps spinning on me, promise that's okay. And our last chain here, we're double crocheting into. That is 1 square coming down. Then you're going to go ahead and put your hook into that chain 3 hole from before, from the last round, and you're going to do a slip stitch. Like so, to lock it into place. And go ahead and chain 3, like the beginning of each row, and you're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. So it's always kind of like a group of 4 blocks. So that's our second row. We're going to go back now up the row. I'm doing 3 squares now. So chain your 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My work already wanted to spin itself. Go ahead and double crochet in that 4th chain from the hook. The next chain. So you're working these blocks basically to make a corner to corner afghan. Each little square in here, sorry, there's 1, 2, 3 blocks. Each little square of 4 is one of the blocks on the picture. So we've got our first block here going up. Then we're going to slip stitch into our next chain 3 space on our next square. Chain 3. Do 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's our second square here. We're going to slip stitch into our next chain, chain 3, and work 3 more double crochets into that chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. You can kind of see how we're making this corner shape, except for it would be technically this way. So I hope this makes sense so far. So now we're going to begin our 4th row going down. I don't know how you like to do it. I like to do little arrows once in a while. It's all going to depend on how you like to do it. So again, the same as before, chaining 6, 4, 5, 6. We're going to double crochet into our 4th chain from our hook. All the way across, making our first block here. Keeps twisting on me, but to secure it to the direction we're going to slip stitch into that chain 3 space, chain 3 again, and work 3 double crochets into that chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. Working our way down this way. Slip stitch. Oops, don't grab half your blocks with it. Chain 3. Work 3 double crochets. Alright, last one, slip stitch. Chain 3. In that same chain 3 space, work 3 double crochets. Alright, on to our 5th row. We're almost to a color change, almost to an interesting bit. Chain our 6. Alright, so got our row of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gone. Now here's where it's going to get really fun. We're going to start the color changes. This is when we get all tangled up in our yarn. So we're going to start with 3, we're going this way, and you can even do this, 3 blue. Then we're going to have 1 mustard, then we're going to have 2 blue. So let's start the row like normal. We're gonna chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna do our double crochet. We're gonna do our first block here. And we're gonna be doing 3 blocks of blue. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Secure it down with a slip stitch. Chain 3, 3 double crochets. One more slip stitch. Alright, so we have right now our 3 blocks. We want to switch to the mustard color. So I'm going to be leaving this tail behind so that he can work up this direction. So I'm not going to cut the blue, but when I go to do my slip stitch by inserting my yarn, I'm just going to be pulling the mustard color up instead of the blue. Make it pretty tight here. Give myself a little longer mustard tail than that. And we're going to continue in the mustard color. So we're going to chain 3 and do 1 block of mustard. But I'm going to try to tie my tail into it. 1, 2, 3. It's up to you if you want to hide your tail now and cut it, or you can leave it till the end. Let's see about cutting them now. I don't know. I usually cut them all at the end, but maybe it won't be such a pain if I hide it now. So I've already hit it one direction, tied up another direction, maybe have it go wrap 3 times just to be safe. Cut my little tail. There we go. And we only had the 1 mustard, so I have to go ahead and go back to clear blue. I'm going to leave the yellow on, so I'm moving the yarn up here. And I decided that I'm not going to do the bobbin because I've got a lot of blue to go. I'm just going to pull another skein. So I have 2 skeins of the blue, and at the end I could try to guess how many skeins are used. I just figured this will be easier than doing all the little bobbins, because after a few, after a few blues, this would run out and you'd have to wrap it again. So I'm just going to do a whole nother skein. So I'm going to have three kind of skeins going at the same time. So I'm slip stitching from the yellow. I'm going to slip into the next chain 3 space, slip in the blue, tighten that yellow up again, and again try to get a longer little blue thread here. Chain 3, hide this tail along the chain 3 space. Since this is a new skein, the yarn's not coming out like I want it to. There we go. Got my block here. There's my block. I'm going to go ahead and hide that tail again of where we added another color. And again, this is up to you. If you want to just hide all the tails at the end, you can. I'm just going to do it now before I forget. Try to leave enough of a tail that if it comes out you can hide it again. Alright, so that was my first out of the 2 blues on the end here. Alright, slip stitch, chain 3. I'm going to be working 3 doubles to make my last block. Alright, to recap, I'm going to try to show it right here next to the squares. We started with 3 blues, 1 mustard, and 2 blues. Okay. So now we're going to work back this way. We're going to be working up this way. We're going to want 2 blues, 2 mustards, and 3 blues. Alright, so starting at the end here, chain our 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Working our first block, double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, double crochet in the next chain, double crochet in the... Alright, so I've got my first block here. I missed hearing my camera shut off, so I'm just going to keep going. Chain 3. Work my 2 blocks. Okay. Here's my 2 blocks. We're going to be pulling our mustard along to the next chain, so it's kind of going to be working up this way. So we're going to be slipping our mustard in, tightening up our blue, chaining 3. So you've got your 2 blocks of blue. Now you're adding your mustard in. There's our first block of mustard. Slip stitch. Chain 3. Work our second block of mustard, just like here. And then we're going to be changing to a blue again, but this time it's going to pull up this way along the square. You can kind of tuck it behind. You're going to slip stitch it in, tighten up that mustard, and then leave it drop behind while we work our blue. And we're going to work 3 blue squares. So 1, 2, 3. Now I kind of caught up to where my camera shut off before. So we'll be flipping our work. We'll probably want to detangle this knot. So I'm going to move my bobbins around, or my yarn. And then working down this next row, we're going to have 4 blues, 2 golds or mustards, and 2 blues. our next row, coming back up this way. We're going to have 3 blues, 2 golds, 4 blues. Alright, rotating our work, moving my yarn again because I love it to not be tangled, and admiring how we got a little foot of a gear started. How perfect. Now we're going to be working back down. Oh no, it looks like we're going to have another color change added. So we're going to have 1 blue, 1 gold, mustard, whatever I'm going to call it today, 2 blues, 3 golds, 3 blues. Alright, so we're going to add some bobbins into this mix. So we're going to start with that chain 6. I like to start facing the opposite direction. 4, 5, 6. Gonna be rotating. Sorry, keep checking my camera to make sure we're still recording. Going to be doing 1 block of blue. Oops, don't drop your stitch. Doing my double crochet, my 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to be switching to one of my bobbins, to 1 mustard corner. So I'm going to go ahead and add that 1 square in there. Dropped the blue, leaving it there to carry along the side here. Here is our 1 gold square. I'm going to go ahead and hide that tail now while I'm thinking about it. And right away, after our 1 gold square here, we're going to do 2 blues. I'm going to add another bobbin. Oops. Throwing things. Get my hook back on here. I'm going to add another bobbin for blue to make these 2 blues here. So go ahead, insert our hook into the next space, and we're going to start a new blue right here for these last few stitches. You can hear my kids fighting in the background. Going to be crocheting 2 blue squares here. So 1. My bobbin wants to come all the way with me. 1, and two, okay, I'm going to go back and hide that blue tail real quick. Where I picked up a new bobbin color. Again, hiding it's all up to you. I prefer to wait till the end, but sometimes I hate when that happens, that I have to hide whole squares worth of tails at the end. Alright, we've got our one blue, one gold, two blues. Gonna add the gold back in. There's gonna be 3 golds, but we're gonna pick up this gold, not this gold. Let's go ahead and insert our hook. Pick up our gold, tighten our blue, drop it back, chain 3, and continue along our path. 1, 2, and 3. Picking up our last blue, we're going to work our 3 again at the bottom here. One, 2, and 3. I'm going to flip my work, and this is where I'm going to add my handy dandy color book that holds my bobbins. I'm just going to slip it under the picture here. I'm going to rotate all my yarn so that we're not all tangled up. Make sure I got everything where I want it. So since this bobbin's going to be over here, I'm just going to clip it onto my color book. Told you I love this thing. My blue bobbin, just going to clip onto my color book. Get that kind of set up for the next row, and if I rotate it real quick you can see how my gear shape is coming along. Rotate it back. Alright guys, so my SD card was full after just doing this little chunk here. I ended on a 5 and I kept going, didn't realize it was full. I think I've showed you enough of the bobbins and the other little tricks that I'm hoping we can get all the way to this row 25 together, to the decrease, and then I will film some of the decrease to show you guys how to work that. So I'm going to leave you on your own to finish this. You can find this on my blog, the pattern also on my blog, that will walk you through each row. And we will meet again at the decrease. Sorry about that guys, I really wanted to film the whole thing. I just don't think it's going to be possible because we're probably going to get about this far before the SD card fills up again. It's just going to be a huge, huge long video. I think you guys get the idea of how to work your bobbins in, how to change your colors, how to get this going, so we'll meet again at the decrease. And I can show you guys again how to decrease. Thank you for your patience, and I will see you soon. Alright, so I have caught up to the last corner, and so I'm going to start working on a decrease now. And my decrease, I'll start going down from the top here. We'll go 2 blues, 6 yellows, 2 blues, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 yellows. This guy's gonna go quite a ways, and 4 blues to finish off. Now I'm going to show you how to decrease here, because we're not going to increase our corners anymore. We're going to be working a decrease. Should give myself a little more space on these bobbins. So when we get to this top corner here, instead of chaining our 6 like we normally do in order to add another length or row, we're going to slip stitch across. So this is slipping instead of adding one more up. We are slipping across so that it evens out. That makes sense. So go ahead, slip stitch across, and then when you get to that hole, that chain 3 space, go ahead and slip stitch in there. So we just skipped making another row. And from here you're going to just do your regular chain 3 and add into that chain 3 space here 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. That's our first block of the row. So you see it's flattening out here. And then we're going to go ahead and make 2 blues before we switch to gold. So slip stitch in our next chain 3 space. Chain 3 and do 3 double crochets. Just like that. Now we'll be picking up our gold, so you can drop your blue behind. Right here we're going to work our last square. It's not going to go all the way up. It's going to end right here because we're trying to decrease a stitch. So do our normal chain 3, 3 double crochet, and then we're simply going to slip stitch in here, we're not going to continue. This is where we're ending. Okay? Since we're ending here, I'm going to go ahead and flip my square over. I'm going to go ahead and resituate all my yarn so that I'm not having a big tangled mess later. You probably have gotten used to all the bobbins and all the switching. So now working our way up now from the last way we were going, we're going to go ahead and work 5 blue, 3 yellow, add a blue here, 1, 4 yellow, 2 blue, 6 yellow, and 2 blue. And much like we were decreasing the row last time, when we begin our row here, oops, my yellow lost its wrapper. When we're beginning our blue at the bottom of a row, we're going to slip stitch across. So we aren't increasing and going out farther this way. We're just going to slip stitch across and begin right here. And this will be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to begin by, however you want to do this, slip stitching across until I get into my chain 3 space right here. Slip stitch like normal. I'm going to flip my work a little bit, and then I'm going to chain 3 and work 3 double crochets in there, and that's my first square. So you can see how we're starting to work along the edge here. So this is just helping work our square that direction. That is all there is to decreasing. So we'll go ahead and do this row and fast forward, and then we'll show you the ending again just one more time. Alright, now we're ending with our last 2 blues here, again working on decrease, so we're ending right here instead of going up a stitch. So, working our chain 3, 3 double crochets, slip stitching into our chain 3, chaining 3, 3 double crochets. We have made 2 blocks. Let's go ahead and slip stitch into our top of our square here. And you can see, if you push your yarn there, how it is forming the side of the square. So when you turn again, you're working your next row, you would just slip stitch across to form that decrease of a stitch. And then work from here down. So keep working your decrease rows. Sorry, those were the longest rows when you get to those corners. Keep working your decrease rows. We'll join together towards the end here and then finish our last hurrah together. Alright, see you soon. Alright, so hello, welcome back. I am just getting to the end of my square here and thought we could finish off the last 3 rows together. Last 3 rows, pretty easy. I don't think I need to use this sheet anymore. I can just go ahead and finish it off like normal. So working our decrease rows, obviously you should be a pro at this by now, since we just did a ton of decrease rows. So we've got 1, 2, 3 blocks on this row. Right, rotating for my second to last row, working my decrease by slip stitching along the side, chaining 3, 2 blocks, so 3 double crochets, slip stitch, oops, chain 3, 3 double crochets, slip stitch, flipping my work over one last time. I'm going to go ahead, slip along the side, do my last block, and I'm going to fasten it off right here. Go ahead and cut myself a string, pull it out. We're going to hide in that tail on the back side here. I apologize, this is the front side, so I want to hide it where I finished it off. I think I'll weave it down to here. Weave it down to here. And one more time for good measure. Alright, so finished work, needs blocking, it's a bit crooked. This is Auri's gear. Don't know where the camera starts and stops, so just rotate it around for a little bit. So this is my first square for our Kingkiller Chronicles blanket. I am so excited, guys. This is awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned for next week when I will have another square. I won't go over the whole entire pattern basics, but I will be showing a video of what it looks like if you want a sneak peek. Are you looking? Are you looking? Sneak peek! So that will be next week's square. I hope you guys enjoyed this little half tutorial. It wasn't really through the entire block, but we got as far as we could without taking up too much of your time. And yeah, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be 8 more of these squares, and then we're putting it together for a throw blanket. If you need to know my size, since we're done now, I'll write it down. Looks like they're going to be about 18-inch, yep, 18-inch squares. So when we attach them together, I'm just going to attach with the mattress seam, and I will show you guys what that looks like when we're done. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for seeing the sneak peek of next week. I hope you enjoyed, and please feel free to look below for links to my giveaway and links to the patterns. See you guys later. Bye-bye.